Everyone. Before we get into this morning's live, I would like to go over a quick synopsis of what is transpiring and why I decided to do a live this Sunday morning instead of just doing an update. The last couple of weekends, I've been doing updates Saturday and Sunday morning via the live format so that I could have an active discussion for anybody who wants to have a valued opinion or have any concerns, but also because I don't know on the weekends if I'll be on for the traditional live at 6 p.m. Yesterday, I came on for a second time. We were able to have a fantastic discussion around 7 p.m., about 50 minutes we were on. We discussed a lot about what was going on. We've had a few different things take place here as far as in the last 24 hours. We did have the 1 billion XRP release from escrow by a Ripple. We've had a 130% surge in volume over the last roughly 24 hours. And we've also had, which I think is interesting, is how we did dump down during the escrow dump to about $1.84, but now we've pulled back up to $1.91 plus, almost to $1.92. And now we've also got Bitcoin where it looks like it's on a massive inverse head and shoulders. That should play us up to about 104,000, 100,000 short term, but it looks like about 104,000. And with Ethereum, it looks like it's getting ready for another leg. Now, what we'll be looking at today, too, is to determine whether or not we have some rising wedges formed. As you know, XRP broke out of a very massive descending wedge going all the way back to 2018, and it was not broken out of until about October of this year. Now we have small rising wedges, but I think these could just be bullish consolidations. I don't think they're going to likely play out as rising wedges, but we'll definitely talk about it nonetheless. We've got XLM maintaining over 50 cents. We've got XRP over $1.91. Our H bar has gone up about 15% today, approaching that 20-cent mark. We bought at 4.8 cents. IOTA is up about 10%, retaking the 30-cent mark. I'm just nearly finished buying as many as I need now that it's on HOTCOIN, but my average is teeking up towards 18 cents now, so I've got less than 1,000 left to buy. So, I mean, I could buy the rest of them right now for $300, but I've just been buying a $50, $100 every day for the last like 3 weeks until I could get to the 10,000 tokens. I'm not too concerned. I'm just trying to build up on HOTCOIN because it's been eluded me for years with IOTA because I live in the USA and it's been out of my jurisdiction. But HOTCOIN brought it about a month and a half ago. So I've been doing my due diligence every day, buying at least a $50 or $100 worth of IOTA. And right now I sit over 9,000 tokens. So I'm very happy about that. But we'll see where it goes because I would still like to continue to accumulate day by day for those last 1,000. As far as XRP healthcare, I know a lot of you have been talking about it. Down 6.3% today. It needed a correction, desperately needed a correction. But the interesting thing is it's consolidating over that 12.3 cent area, which could be ultra bullish. We've come up from 1.7 cents here. My average is about 2.1, but we came up from that 2 cent mark, 1.9 cents on November 14th. And since November 14th, XRP healthcare, even in the consolidation, is up 640%. You can't make this stuff up. So if you put, I bought 60,000 XRP healthcare, so you can do the math. Cost me about $1,200 to $1,300. And that $1,200 to $1,300 right now on 60,000 tokens, you can do the math. It's up near $7,000 now. So, and it's a massive bull flag. It's a massive bull flag that's forming. You could say bull flag, but it's definitely building something that's could be historic here. I've talked about this as my sleeping giant bag when everybody else is talking about different things. I'm staying on the XRP ledger with certain things, and I said that this was going to be the biggest steal probably in the entirety of the XRP ledger. One could argue, too, if you look at it like this, that maybe it's a pennant flag and not a bull flag. Like, this is where I've been having my hardest time with XRP healthcare. Is it just a pennant flag like this if we set it up like this? Like, I'm trying to figure it out because it's such a wild volatility here with XRP healthcare. It kind of looks like a pennant flag if it holds it. I don't know, though. We got to see, though, if we can hold 12.3 and if we have to consolidate and hit that 9 cent again. It's been a unbelievable 600+% rally here. So the volatility is great, but for anybody who's in that, it's been a historical move so far. I mean, just from a standpoint of our portfolios. As you guys know from yesterday, I have a little bit of exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is unlike me, but with Ethereum, it's still breaking towards those levels I've been talking about for a couple of weeks. And then with Bitcoin, I have exposure. I have a stop loss under 90. I did exactly what I said yesterday. Under 90,000, it came right to our 95,784, which was an absolutely spectacular retracement. I have a stop loss under 90,000, like right around 90,000, to see if this inverse head and shoulders plays out like I anticipate. I think we're going to come up and play out of this, and then we'll retest this 101K. But if you measure the depth here of this short-term recovery here, we can even do it from here just so we don't over-examine it. But you actually should go higher here. We should actually do it from about here. And a standpoint of if this breaks out of this area right here, you're talking about 104 to 106K for Bitcoin. So yes, I have exposure via the leverage market. My risk this morning between Ethereum and Bitcoin, I have a stop loss at 3,500 on Ethereum, 90,000 on Bitcoin. It would cost me in totality, about 90 bucks. About 90 bucks. So, but I mean, you can do the math there. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is my own personal portfolio. Yes, there's some traders that follow me on BITUNIX, but you'll have to do some research in the description to figure that one out. So with that being said, I think that gives a great basis of what we're looking at. I appreciate everybody tuning in this morning more than you could ever imagine. I seen one donation, so I will bring my phone out if I can find my phone. I cannot find my phone. But I definitely need to look. Oh, there's my phone. I need to look at that because I'm going to show respect to the ones who send personal support, and I can't just skip that. So let's see. Let me go into this, and then I'm going to do the intro, and we're going to get into all this news because there is so much to talk about, so much to get into. And let's not forget that Michigan yesterday pulled off the biggest upset in the history of the rivalry with Ohio State as the 21-point underdogs, pulling out something just massive yesterday. So miracles do happen on a daily basis. They really, really do. Michael Winter, welcome, and thank you for that first YouTube super chat of $1.99. I really, really appreciate that. Randall, thank you for joining Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. You have just made me the happiest person in the world today. That is unbelievable. Thank you so much for joining Tom's Army. Robert, thank you so much for the $5 donation and also being in Tom's Army for your first month. That is incredible. Incredible. Yeah, as far as XRP healthcare, we can't buy it on MEXC in the USA. They no longer allow USA users. So that's something that we're going to have to, you got to monitor. The only place that I can find in the USA is Coinstar, but their volatility is out of control. But I haven't bought since 2.2 cents, so I'm just sitting in it. Daniel's up 600% in XRP healthcare. It's crazy, isn't it? It's craziness. Calvin, thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month, along with Alice and Mick. Juan Brito, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months. Man and his dog, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months, along with Syrian and XRP Goat. I apologize if I miss any, but I don't have time to go through it all. And I want to keep this free flowing. And Syrian, thanks for being a very trusted mod. Kryptonian, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months.
He was apprehensive because the guy with the backpack usually comes to get them.
Is that what he said?
I told him he's getting them for me.
Oh, that's funny. So now he knows what I get them for.
Yeah,
Good morning, Dev. Was it the big guy?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Good morning, Devin, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So Bad's and a very trusted mod. JNL, thank you for being in your first month in Tom's Army. JW, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moonbads. DJRC, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. Says you can exchange it on Decent Wallet XRP8. Yes, I've heard that. Via the Ledger too, Zoom has a function as well. But most people won't understand that. I was trying to figure out exchanges, but it's just not that easy. Darling House on 60 Minutes today. Who knows if that's actually true? XRP Productions on X has been putting all that information out, and he's a fudster. So like I said, pay very close attention to the news and whether it's true or not. John Boogerthorpe, welcome in. John Patak, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year. Kryptonian, not only in Tom's Army for over 6 months, with the XRP predictor sends his first YouTube super chat, a $5 donation. And also, he's famous in my audience. Kryptonian is famous in my audience. He's the one who created this for our beautiful community. The XRP, the Phoenix Rising. And that's my, that's what I use now on my updates for my thumbnail the last week and a half since he's allowed me to use that. So I don't think I've done the intro this morning. Did I do the intro out of curiosity? And then we got to get going here. We got a lot to talk about. Interest is fading somewhat in the general populace in XRP, which is amazing because too many people believe that XRP's rally's over, or that this has just been kind of a FUD push. So I think we need to look at this from a deeper angle and understand that even with the 1 billion release from escrow, which we'll go over the information, we'll go over exactly how it was released from Ripple and the different, I think it was 3 different releases. And we'll take a look at the implications of that and what the price did during that time. But first, I'll do the intro. So good morning, 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, December 1st, 2024. Can you believe it's December already? I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Where did this 2024 go? I know a lot of the year was left by people being miserable, by being disheartened, by being beaten down, broken down, their faith taken away, and their belief in crypto was stomped because it took so long to move when Bitcoin was doing its thing. But as you know, we start with the large cap tokens. We start with Bitcoin. Then it cycles its way into Ethereum. Then it finds its way to the high cap tokens like XRP, the high market caps, or Solana, or some of the bigger ones. Then it starts trickling down into the low cap tokens. And a big one, a big hint at this is the fact that, as we can see, it reversed by 9% since we started XRP Healthcare. I told you it's volatile. There's only a 99.4 million total circulating supply. We're about only 70 million are in circulation. So I really thought that was one that just patience was a virtue with that one. But let's get into XRP at $1.90. I still see a lot of negativity surrounding XRP, which is fantastic. We want the negative connotation around XRP because we want a lot of, let's just put it this way, a lot of disbelief, and we want a lot of people that don't value XRP in its proper light. Now, what I was talking about these possible rising wedges is these are very easily could be bull flags too, but I don't know. I don't know if these are forming rising wedges and then they need to come down to support, or if this is just everyone being negative around XRP are people that missed out. For the most part, there's also the ones who didn't miss out and they sold out at like $1.30, $1.50, and they're a little upset as well. So it's a pretty interesting thing. A lot of people, I've seen influencers that are buying massive amounts of XRP that refuse to buy it at $1, at 75, at 40, at 28, at 62, at 87. But now some of the influencers are jumping on board at $1.90. It doesn't make any sense. If you weren't going to buy it at 45, 50 cents, why are you buying this big candle? For all intents and purposes, folks, that was just one candle. If you want to break it down into reality, that was one candle, right? That was one candle followed by the breakout candle. And what did we do the entire year? For 2 years, we didn't have any candles like that. You see anybody buy any of this? How many influencers told you XRP was dead? How many people and just the general populace told you were just ridiculous for buying that consolidation? And I've tried to push that point home. When you're in that accumulation phase, who cares what the price is? Sub 50 cents, you should have been all over it. If you had a stomach higher than 50 cents, unlike me, because I know the manipulation that was going on for multiple years, I felt more comfortable sub 40. And it worked out very well what we were thinking. Now, we hear about, oh, well, you should sell your entire bag because now XRP is going back sub $1. Oh, you should sell it all and then rebuy it lower so you can pay the tax on the same crypto over and over and over. There's nothing worse than buying at 35, selling at $1, buying back at 91, selling at $1.40, buying back at $1.20, selling at $1.70, buying back at $1.55, selling at $1.95, buying back at $1.84. Now you've had to pay the same crypto tax 7 times in the same short-term capital gains now on the last 3. The first one, you might have to, you have the long-term capital gains because it's over a year. But now those next 3, you have short-term capital gains tax on. So now, even though you've been making and buying and selling and coming back and going and back and forth, up and down, left and right, maybe even expanding your XRP holdings, the problem is now you're going to have to pay taxes on 4 separate transactions, and each time your transactions is becoming larger. Maybe in the beginning it was 3,000. That first sale it was 9,000. Buying it back it was 7,000. The second sale it was 13,000. So now you've got taxes on 22,000. Now you buy it back at 17,000. Or you had it for 14. Now it retraces, you get it back for 12. Now you sell it for 19,000, get it back for 18. There's a lot you're giving away by being a swing trader in these moments. You're giving a lot back if you live in the USA. Don't be that guy. Don't give the government all of a sudden you got 80,000 in crypto profit, but because you sold it 4 times, you're not actually selling out 77,000 in profits. You've got to pay that tax now on every step of the way. It's just not worth it. And yeah, some people want to flick off the good old taxes, but that's the system we live in. So we can either acknowledge what we live in and try to keep more money in our pocket, or we can finesse ourselves just like we do in the casinos and end up paying the house more than they deserve. So when I speak of fundamentals, I also speak of understanding how to keep more money in my pocket. That's why last year I proclaimed when it went up to 90 cents, that wasn't my target. I said my target was $1.98, $2, $5. There's not targets sub $1. Sub $1, you should have been feasting instead of worrying about buying and selling and getting all the taxes. When I use other exchanges for leverage trading, there's a reason I'm not verified on those accounts. There's a reason why I don't have to do KYC. I don't want to deal with the tax repercussions. Now, when I send into crypto.com all of my profits, yeah, that's when I'll handle it. And I'll be honest about profits. So, but another opportunity here is we've been buying these on spot. Like XRP Healthcare, almost 700% cheaper where we bought it. XRP at 34. I don't plan on selling these until they become actual currency, which means that taxes would not be possible on them. So when you ask me how long I'm going to hold crypto, we're not anywhere yet. We're nowhere yet. And I think this is something that I need to hammer home more often. Like, I used to spend so much time reading the comments in the live, which I really thoroughly appreciate. But I started to understand watching it back that I was hindering the show. I kept talking about certain things that I feel like, you know what, if people want to show support, they're going to show support. I don't have to hammer home that point. You know, if people want to join what I do, you'll join. I don't have to keep hammering that point. I think we need to focus more on the content and not always talk about Tom's Army or talk about donate, because I don't think they're relevant. I don't. And I think looking back at it and watching it and being proactive, I think that was a big hindrance on my lives. A big hindrance on what I was doing. I was spending too much time talking about things that'll come normal if I'm doing a good job, if that makes any sense. Like, you guys know to hit the like button. If you don't hit the like button, that's up to you. So I think this is going to be an even better and more integral show now because we're not going through all the noise. I'm not going through all the nonsense. David, thank you so much for your 3rd YouTube super chat, saying a $9.99 donation. Incredible. Incredible. And yeah, AMP, we'll go over some analysis on AMP, I promise you. But I can honestly say, going into 25, this is going to be the best rendition of Tom's, or of XRP Future Millionaire that you've ever seen. And that'll be 4 years strong, and it's going to be the best rendition we've ever seen. So, and you know, we all have our pet peeves. Some people don't like being told what to do. So let's see. Total sense. See? So this is sitting well. So some of the constructive criticism helps. It helps. So, you know, that's one part of it that I constructively also seen within myself where I'm like, I can make this even better. So anyhow, but don't worry, at the end of my lives, I will mention about all of the stuff that I need to talk about, but not until we get 40, 50 minutes deep. You know what I'm saying here? So we're going to do this in a much more professional way to where you know, I think it's more appropriate that way. I don't like talking about monetary things anyhow. So I would rather just do it this way. So with H bar, we're up 14.5% today. Let's start here because it's one surging. 14.5%. And we're trying to break out of this short-term consolidation. We created an inverse head and shoulders back here, which we thought was going to be pretty volatile to the upside and come up to that 21 cents. And honestly, we, for all intents and purposes, came up to almost 21 cents. Came up to 20.8. We'll lower just that. We're actually, you know what? Just keep the record, the pattern where we have it right there at 21.1. But right now, for a further breakout, we're looking to hold. Could we have a nice consolidation here? We very well could. We very well could. So, oh, we do all have PTSD, Ed, from Uncle Sam. You got that. You got that right. 19, yeah, mine was about 22 grand last taxes I had to pay in crypto taxes last year. From buying and selling, even though I had all my long bags just holding. From just buying and selling and making some beautiful trades with the XRP Bitcoin pairing and things like that. The year before, I even did the same thing last year with the XRP Bitcoin pairing a lot. So I'm going to have some implications again. But anyhow, all the assets we talk about here are doing well. Absolutely, that's because I buy the utility tokens. I don't buy the nonsense meme tokens. I like to stick with the ISO and IoT tokens. I want utility tokens because I was building for the utility run of all utility runs. We very well might be in the midst of it. We very well might not be. We'll have to see how it plays out. But right now for H-bar, we're looking to hold 19.6 cents roughly. If we can hold that, that's where we push out to our first big target. And it's a decent target here. So we finished this. This was our third hit. So we can actually modify this a little bit and actually have this come through the third resistance. That's much better. See how we did that? That's much better. We were guessing before. Resistance, resistance. But now that we had a third resistance here, you can go resistance, resistance, resistance. Back test on that resistance. The depth of this would be the initial target out. So if we look at the widest depth, I would say probably from right here. Not all the way up there. And we're going to go into XRP. We got a lot to talk about, but I figured I would start like this. Somebody sent a donation, and they were talking about H-bar, so I figured I would start like this. Just to respect the fact that you spent your hard-earned money, so I'm going to give you a little bit of extra. So, off the bat, so you don't have to wait. 23.8 cents. So let's say we hold this back test. H-bar is looking at an additional 23%. Remember, we bought at 4.8 cents on H-bar. Can't make that up. It's just like every one of our other buys. They're just unbelievably low. Unbelievably low. IOTX is broken 5.3 cents now. That's already moving hard. DGB had a beautiful day yesterday. A 10% consolidation today. But it had a perfect breakout. It hit the technical move up. It actually fulfilled 1.7 cents, which was actually, to me, overzealous. I was hoping it wouldn't go up that far, as some of you know. I wanted it to do this beautiful consolidation, but honestly, could we say a pennant flag? If you take this out to the most evidence we have, isn't that prototypical pennant flag here for DGB if it holds? Am I wrong about this? Can I hear the audience's opinion real quick, and then I'll go to XRP, because we've got so much to talk about XRP, it's scary. We've got to talk about the escrow drop. We've got to talk about the 130% surge in trading volume. We've got to talk about the fact we're over 100 billion for XRP in market cap for the first time in many years. But DGB right now, if it breaks out of this short-term consolidation, you're looking at 1.9 on the short term. And then if that entire flag plays out, yes, there are many pennants right now. There are many pennants right now. So, and then if this is a pennant flag and it does break out in totality, you could say short term's there. And then long term, we got to actually move this target up. It's about 2.3 cents in totality if it plays out. So that's what we're going to keep watching. XRP now, let's get into some of the noise. We know we've got this ascending formation. Looks like a small bull flag is formed here as well. Whether it plays out or not, it's to be determined because it's kind of a interesting W formation below. If you take away the wick, it's a Gartley. FYI. But this looks like a bull flag. is possibly set up here. We got a nice reversal, but if you take out this wick, it's actually a Gartley reversal if you look at it properly. Now it's a question of if it plays out. If it plays out, we're gonna have a very happy Sunday into Monday. One thing I can tell you newsworthy is that Tether, the Tether Treasury, minted $1 billion more worth of Tether USDT, and they minted it on the Tron network this time. So TRX, if you're interested, not the Ethereum network this time. So Tron network, they minted another 1 billion worth of Tether about 36 hours ago. Actually about 48 now, so pay attention to that. Possible we drop to $1.34 to $1.22, thinking of selling bag to buy back at that drop. You can absolutely do what you want. I'm not selling anything right now until we finish our modem. Until we finish, we haven't even hit. Here's my problem with selling right now and trying to do that. And it may very well work out for you. Like I've said a million times, I have no crystal ball. I'm not a wizard. Even though some of you think I'm the greatest AI ever created, I am in fact not a wizard. Maybe I am. But right now, the technical target that we've been watching for since 2021 as this formation started in a descending wedge. Some people have fought me to the death that this isn't a descending wedge. I really don't care. I just know my own analysis, so it doesn't bother me what everybody else says. But to me, it's wider base on the outside, and the wedge, it became a descending wedge until the very end when the wedge closed. Now we broke out of that descending wedge, and the first major target, if you go from the depth, from the 21 high to the 21 swing low, the depth was $2.22. If you take it from the swing high, all-time highs in 2018 in January, to the swing low that took 27 months, around 10.2, 11.2, depending on exchange, that 27 months, if you take the widest part of that descending wedge, it gets you up to $5.49. I've had these targets out for a very long time. Just some thought I was crazy, in 23. Now you don't think I'm crazy anymore because we're up to $1.90 and some change. And our next target, which is the first major target off of that descending wedge, is $2.22. We're less than 32 cents away from there. Okay, so now we look at, well, how did you know when the bull market started for XRP? What changed your mind? You were the crypto bear for so long. Yes, I was the crypto bear, but also saying that this is where we get rich. For years, I said during the accumulation phase, you don't get rich during the pump. You get rich during the accumulation phase in the pit of the bear market that nobody wants to buy. So what did we form here? And we've been talking about for several years for anybody who's new. Cup. We have the cup measured by the depth of the cup in yellow. Color code it. I color coded it yellow. Technical target was 137. Handle. Color code it to the yellow. Handle target $1.18. $1.18 is when we started waking up out of the bear market. We had to start to wake up. Once we got over and held $1.37, it was an official bull market. We broke out of the cup and handle. We assessed our demons and paid the price here, paid the piper, so to say, with that rising channel, which we had to wait to clear, had about a 42% drop, created a huge W reversal, inverse head and shoulders, and on the descending consolidation with that cup and handle formation, kind of like a short-term descending wedge, right? On the handle. Can we agree that that was a descending wedge? After you start looking at the handle, wider base, gets smaller, the triangle through the end, breaks out of the descending wedge, which is and you can call it a descending triangle. I try not to call things descending or ascending wedges because it makes people mad. But it's just an incredible thing. So, when am I going to host the celebration party on the Great Lakes? I get that asked a lot. Not yet. We have to at least make 6+ figures. It's got to be so people can afford to get there. I preferred to do it after XRP was around the $10 mark. Let's just put it that way. Because then when I look at all of my investments, if XRP's at $10 and I've made 6 figures there, I'm probably a millionaire. Off of everything else I've done. Let's just be honest for what it is. If XRP hits $10 and the rest of my crypto follow in line, I'll be a millionaire by $10. So, at $2.22, my own personal expectation is that when we hit $2.22, we will retrace to that 2021 resistance as a support at $1.98. That's my personal expectations. My personal expectations. So that's my personal expectations, that it would have about a 30% correction from $2.22 to about $1.98. Now, whether or not that plays out or not is to be determined. And the reason why I think it could play out like that is you've got that short-term cup that will finish at $1.98. But that would just be the back test of the breakout from the 2021 high at $1.98. So I'd find it hard to believe you'd go to 222 and not go back to $1.98. Just my own personal expectations. I also think it'd be hard to believe that we don't come up to 222 if we're going to have a full-on reversal. Now, I could see us coming down to $1. As I've said, before this takes place, could I see us coming back to $1.77? Sure. Could I see it coming back and back testing that $1.40 area? Possibly. Don't really want to come all the way back down there because then you could start talking about a possible head formation. So I think top is nearly in for Bitcoin. I mean, if we want to talk about that, it's okay to talk about that. It's just Bitcoin right now. If the top is in, it can't be in with that inverse head and shoulders. Just remember that. With this inverse head and shoulders, the measurement right now, the technical target out of Bitcoin's cup and handle before we ever broke out was 122,000. The technical target out of this consolidation that we're creating is interesting. It's interesting. This line right here was technically what I thought if we stayed above this and made sure to hold 95,784, that we could hold this neckline. Now we have this ascending. Here's the problem when we're talking about this. Could we say we started like an ascending wedge? That's the only thing that you could ask yourself, which I'm not even willing to say that. This was speculative that we would come down there. This is what it looked like it did. So it looks like, at least right now, this is held. So we can get rid of that. But now we got this ascending formation. Technically coming out of this, the first target should be from coming down here, and we can look. Because we had all the way back. And if you came from here, you can see the channel that was formed. Whoops. Let me fix this. You can see the channel that we had out yesterday. But I was trying to put in a better light here for Bitcoin so we could see that maybe, just maybe, it comes from here. And now that we had this consolidation, this is the short-term movement. So, yeah, we had that ascending channel. But now it looks like we formed into this ascending, kind of like a wedge. Almost. And if we break out of that with this V-shaped recovery and inverse head and shoulders that looks all but set up here, and then you couple this with, I'm not just going to tell you false facts, but couple this with, and let's give it a second to load. Oops, I accidentally hit refresh. Well, now it's going to take a true second. There we go. I'm going to have to put it back in the monthly. What is going on here? Looks like it crashed out. There might be a lot of people watching on there. You know, there probably is a lot of people looking at this chart today, honestly. We're going to put this into the daily one, or the monthly. So let's put this into the monthly. Watch all this liquidation. If you're looking at a reason why Bitcoin can come up, not just the inverse head and shoulders, but if you're looking for real fundamentals behind the fact why Bitcoin can come up, eat your heart out when this refreshes. Look at all this liquidation. Like, you cannot make this up. Can't make it up. And Bitcoin, crypto, leverage, market manipulators, trading bots, all of them, they target these liquidation zones because it's easy trading. Easy trading. Now it's going slower than molasses this morning. But look at this. 99,700, there's 786 million in short liquidations. 99,750, there's almost 900 million in short liquidations. 99,900, another 825. 100,000, you've got 860 million. There's like $5 to $7 billion worth of liquidation within a 1,000 points of Bitcoin. So if you're asking me where Bitcoin's going, we're going to clear that liquidation. We're going to clear that liquidation. It's what we said down here. Even if there was a further move up, we had billions of dollars down here near 91,000. Just so conveniently cleared it out. That's an inverse head and shoulders. I don't care what anybody says. If it gets invalidated, so be it. But that's a inverse head and shoulders. And right now, for Bitcoin, it very well could take it to a new layer, that 100K zone. Can't convince me we're not taking that liquidity. What you can convince me is the market makers intentionally came short at 99,800. Let the short traders eat. Let them continue to open up the shorts so that they could be clobbered over 100,000. So we could have liquidity to go to 107 and possibly 122. At least 104. So that's what I'm seeing. And I can't be convinced otherwise that that's not what's happening unless it breaks down. Oh, absolutely. Rizzo says, and I don't know why it got blocked, but I'm unblocking it. He said, laugh out loud, Kryptonian, same by big green candles, get big red dildos. I could not agree more. You chase those big green candles, you're going to get a dildo where the sun don't shine. I cannot agree anymore if I tried. Cannot appreciate anymore if I try. And yeah, all the people, no, I could see a lot of people pumping up XRP, but I don't think this is money coming in from Solana and money coming in from Ethereum and Bitcoin yet. I truly believe that below the radar, a lot of institutions have come in. The whales, let's go into the whales real quick. So first, let's talk about this. Ripple unleashes 1 billion XRP amid historical XRP price breakout. And I see a donation on here. Thank you so much. I noticed the comments don't seem to be working on my tablet again. I get shadow banned for some reason on all my lives. So I'll just go to the phone. But that doesn't affect our show because, as you know, you guys can talk amongst each other. And then I will also say hi to you as I see it. I'll always check to see if somebody's paid it forward or if somebody's got a comment that just can't be missed. Or if there's new members. That's that honest. Patrick, thank you for not only being in Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens, but you sent a $19.99 super chat. I love those beautiful pay it forward moments. They're so motivating. But as I always say, I do this on my own, and I do this without monetization, like as far as charging for my content. So that is completely up to you if you ever want to send a monetize, a monetary value or like a paid donation. That is completely up to you. It's not required ever. I do this because I think the information needs to get out, but trust me, it's very motivating. Ripple unleashes 1 billion XRP amid historical XRP price breakout. And I seen Cape Cod Kyle in there from Massachusetts in Tom's Army for almost a year now. And he's not from Florida, as I've wrongly said many, many times. Cape Cod, Florida, not Cape Cod, Massachusetts. How dare XRP future millionaire with the side bet on XLM and future Digibyte. Oh, gee, I always like to fit that in somehow, some way. So Ripple unleashes 1 billion XRP amid historical XRP price breakout. So 1 billion XRP tokens were unlocked by Ripple today, which can be valued at 1.92 billion. At the current price, this release is a standard operation in which the San Francisco-based crypto company releases 1 billion XRP to the open market every first of the month. According to the original XRPL novel, Ripple is expected to unlock a total of 55 billion tokens from its escrow accounts, which is nearly 55% of the total XRP supply. The goal of such a decision was to make the supply of XRP more predictable. Alert noticed a 300 million XRP transfer valued at $585 million. Wow, it's up to $585 million now for that. Unlocked from escrow at unknown wallet. Currently, the cryptocurrency company is just under 37.24 billion tokens remaining. And a fun fact, that's still 17 billion more than DGB's total circulating supply, just what they have to release, though. How many tokens remain in the market is still an unknown value and will be known when Ripple locks back unclaimed tokens. Given that XRP is one of the main news makers, that's not the only escrow drop. That's not the only escrow drop. I actually have a second part. I just don't feel like going through all of the FUD to try to find the real news on some of this, because there's always a lot of FUD that surrounds the escrow drops, which is ridiculous. But we had the 300 million, and then we had 200 million as well unlocked right after that. So we've had a 300 million unlock, a 200 million unlock, and then as we know, we've had 1 billion unlocked from Tether in the last 48 hours by Tether Treasury and USDT put on the Tron network. So that's a lot of news. And then I wanted to show real quick while I have everybody's attention. So XRP whales are eating. It's actually, you know what? I can show this on here. I don't even need to go over there. The XRP whales are eating. I remember I seen this in here as well. Right here. Look at this. XRP whales, and this is from yesterday. XRP whales 1 billion accumulation drives price to 43-month high. XRP has been on a strong rally, reaching its high point in over 3 years. As the latest data, and now we're back up to about $1.90. Was that $1.84 at the time of this? Up over 267% on the month. Several factors are fueling XRP's growth, particularly its role in the crypto payment market, which continues to attract institutional interest and bolster its long-term prospects. XRP's price's growth has been attributed to its rising demand, but the altcoin's rally is also the result of overall shift in sentiment towards crypto assets. XRP's had over the last 2 weeks an exceptional price performance, consistently outpacing many major cryptocurrencies. This outperformance is likely to continue, supported by XRP's strategic positioning in the global crypto payments infrastructure and notably improved sentiment following positive regulatory developments in the U.S. Remember also, the RLUSD is looking to be fast-tracked and being released on December 4th. If that happens, tons of liquidity coming. Remember, we've still got real-world assets, RWAs, coming to the ledger shortly via gold and silver tokenization, where you have to buy 100 to equal 1 ounce. So 100 tokens, whatever their value is on gold and silver, it'll be 1/100th the price of silver and 1/100th the price of gold when it becomes tokenized. And if you hold 100 of those tokens, you'll equal an ounce of gold or an ounce of silver based on their own denomination. And then you'll have the ability to ask for delivery of precious metals. And that's going to be huge for the ledger. Huge. Over the past 2 weeks, whale activity in the XRP market has been remarkable. Holders of between 1 million and 10 million XRP have accumulated over 1.12 billion worth of the altcoin. The large-scale accumulation suggests strong institutional investor confidence, especially as XRP inches closer to the $2 mark. The whale strategy indicates they believe in the long-term potential of XRP, which is vital for the altcoin stability. And by the way, my voice was so bad yesterday when I did the live. I literally last night I have honey that I buy from local beekeepers. I never buy honey from the store. I don't like to buy stuff like that from the store. It costs more from the local bee, but you get the point. I put it in hot water, made like a hot honey water, and I woke up this morning and my voice, it's still a little bad, but it's not cracking. So that hot honey in water definitely cleared up my voice for this morning. I was a little concerned I wasn't gonna be able to do this morning. I could not talk last night. I couldn't even tell. I tried to tell Julie I loved her last night and died laughing because I was like, ah, and I tried to say and nothing came out. However, this significant accumulation raises concerns about profit taking. Many market observers are speculating that once XRP reaches a major price level, whales could start booking profits, potentially causing a pullback. Still, given that the altcoin season is yet to unfold truly, whales are likely to hold their position and avoid selling prematurely. This could maintain upward momentum for XRP in the short term. XRP's price has surged over 267% this month, currently standing at $1.84. The altcoin is nearing the psychological resistance level of $2. That is a big level. $1.98 to me from 2021. We knocked that over. The $2 level is just that. It's a bump in the road. That'll fall just as quickly as $1.98 holds. I guarantee it. Forget the $2 psychological. It's the $1.98 2021 psychological level that kept us from hitting $2 when we were so close. Think about that. So what would be bigger resistance, $2 or $1.98, since we didn't even get to $2 in 21? $1.98 was like a brick wall. A key price point that has historically triggered major market movements. Reaching this level would mark a major milestone. And for record, I've never been able to say XRP is $2 plus in the history of my show. I started March of 2021. The closest I got was twice now, in 21 and 24 at $1.98, both brick walls. So a key price point that has continued growth. If XRP successfully flips the $2 level into support, it could trigger increased demand, further propelling the price upward. The support, and the crazy thing is from $2, a 20% move would be to $2.40. we would better than 1x our portfolio on just that move. This is where it gets scary, folks. Moving 34 cents when it was 34 cents is hard. Moving 34 cents when it's $1.90 is not hard. This is where real money can be made here. This is where it gets scary. Some of you have already made life-altering money on XRP. How some of you might have dabbled with me in XRP healthcare, and now you can't believe what's going on. You're up almost 700% there, up over 300% on XRP. You can't, and then when you talk about HBAR being up 400+% and all these other ones, it's utility, folks. I never sugarcoated it the entire time. I never claimed that I was some meme genius or wanted to even hold a meme token. I said my focus was primarily on precious metals, commodities, and utility tokens, ISO and IoT tokens. I've never sugarcoated. I've never lied. And for that, we're going to be very, very well positioned here. And we already have been for a long time. So at this price point would likely attract more investors, setting the stage for a push toward higher price levels. Given the ongoing momentum, XRP could target new highs in the coming weeks. And don't be offended, but I actually like this new last couple days, not going through all the comments, not going through all the noise, because then I can give you a real live that you want, and there's nothing stopping it. Yes, I'll go through the comments every now and then, but I think this is more pure, and I really think that I just advanced because of all of your help too in the comments, that I think we're going in the right direction. I think this will be a much better program going forward. I really do. Not that it was bad before, don't get me wrong. This will be much more educational. However, should the market face a broader correction or if profit taking becomes widespread among whales, XRP may experience a pullback in such a scenario. Support at lower levels could become critical to preserving the overall bullish outlook. As it stands, XRP's price trajectory remains positive with a lot of potential for further growth in near term. And now since we're on the XRP cascade, and I've only got so much time, we've already been 46 minutes, over 300, there's 316 people here. And already approaching 200 likes. You cannot ask for anything better. So, but I also wanted to go on here and look at not just the total crypto market liquidations, because this is my biggest pet peeve, the leverage side. Today alone, $160 million has found its way out of retail via leverage, via the greedy hands. That's $160 million out of retail, you and I, whether short or long traders, that no longer can put that money towards spot positions. That's 15% of $1 billion that even if went up 10% on 150 million, you made 15 million in retail. But no, we always go for that leverage side of it. And it's not usually 5 or 10. Most people are doing 35, 50, 100. Even at 5, it's dangerous. You're 18 to 20% move from liquidation. Does that seem so hard in this market? Not really. So it's one of my biggest pet peeves in crypto. If you don't have a solidified spot account to where you are maxed out to the max and you don't want anything else, you shouldn't be leverage trading. My crypto portfolio is probably, I don't know, 50, 60. I don't know what it's at now. I only put 8,000 or 9,000 into it, and now it's like 5 to 6 times higher. If I told you the total amount that's allocated to leverage, you would probably say, why am I even leverage trading? Within a portfolio that big of around 50, probably 60,000 in allocation now for all of the rises, I have a total of $400 in leverage. $400 out of about 60,000. So you do the math on how much I'm willing to put towards leverage. And the only reason I do it is for the community, which I can't even speak of because I've been reported. But that's up $450 cumulatively. And the one I used to do on BLOFIN that every now and then I do where there's 10 people is up over $200. So if you cumulatively look at it, you know, we're doing just fine. But my allocation's like 0.0001%. It's like less than 1%. Not even a half a percent, a quarter of a percent. Because I don't trust it as far as I can watch it. I'm elite at reading the charts, and yet I don't feel comfortable leverage trading. So unless you can compete with what I can on the charts, you shouldn't even be looking at leverage. You should focus it. This is my biggest pet peeve, and it pisses me off day by day in a good way, that $160 million from hardworking people found its way out of the market. Found its way out of the market. When we're having the biggest bullish push we've had since 21, 100 million in long positions was liquidated. In long positions. That 100 million would still be there if you just bought the spot of your particular token and weren't so damn greedy. The short leverage, I don't understand shorting a bull market. That's $60 million that have been pissed away. The day before, 116 in shorts. The day before, 150 in shorts. Look at this. Look how much money over the last week. Billions. And you wonder why I get so animated when it comes to spot first leverage. That's why. Let's just keep throwing away our hard-earned money to try to make a quicker gain. Forget that 5, 15, 500x. Do it at 1x until you get it right. You want to experiment? Make sure you're using less than 1%. 0.5%. 1/4%. If I was using 1%, I'd have about 5,000 to 6,000 in leverage. I've got 400 that's allowed to be allocated. That's it. And I've only got like 300 in them. I'm just saying, don't lose yourselves in leverage. Look at XRP. Yesterday, on the well, this is still part of today because it hasn't flipped on this time zone. But look at this on the 29th. $32 million was liquidated in XRP. The price went to $1.95. And 14.6 million is getting liquidated in longs. Unacceptable. 17.9 million lost in shorts on a day that we went to $1.95. Like, what are we shorting? The technical target is 222. Stay out of your own way. Stay out of your lane, as the balls always say. Stay in your lane. If you're not a leverage trader, you should never be to begin with. Stay in your lane and spot. How can we pass up these monumental gains by pissing it away? Sure, me, you, and some other people are becoming more financially wealthy. Look at all this money in XRP. Today alone, $9 million has been liquidated in leverage. The last day, 32 million. That's 41. What? We're talking now. We're up to $80 million in 3 days. All that money is finding its way out of the promising hands. And if you don't want to hear this, you should want to. This is where most of the money by you and I is being lost. Instead of being patient and spot, it's disgusting. Look at all this red. That's all liquidations. There's only a few that have positive accounts. Bitcoin's lost 1.23 million in leverage liquidations. Others that aren't on here, 1 million. Ethereum, 3.45 million. Pepe, almost 400,000. Shiba, about 315,000. 700,000 total if you do the 1,000 Shiba. There's so much money that are finding their way out of the market that just goes back to the house. We don't want to do this to ourselves, folks. Have a fundamental understanding. Don't give it back. Please. Don't give this back to the exchanges. And yeah, if mine don't work out and you see Bitcoin under 90,000 and Ethereum under 3,500 at any time, because I am not selling this until it plays out. I would lose about 90 bucks that I'd give back to the house. And look at that. That's 1/4 of my leverage account would be gone. And that's just to get stopped out. And I've given myself plenty of room. 7,000 to work on Bitcoin to finish this inverse head and shoulders. Because I'd hate for it to come down and retest the lower parts before it breaks out. And then Ethereum all the way down to 3. There's a reason why I do what I do. But I'm also very passionate about trying to explain how to not get wrecked in this market. Because it really does pain me. So many people get wrecked in leverage when it's not necessary. Absolutely, RS. Buying 50 or at 50 cents, you stop buying. You have 40,000 XRP. Solid. Kryptonian says, yes, spot is king. Those swings are meant to murder. Yes, they are, to murder the leverage. You just looked at XRP. Oh, yeah, and we staked that for... I can't stake it anymore because there's no more staking tokens available. Once my last 6 months ran out, there's no more. There's just no more. They don't have any more tokens. And there was only so many that was allotted to be staked. So I don't think you can't stake at all. You can't stake anymore, I don't think, unless they re-allowed it, but I doubt it. Because they don't give you the option on here. Due to scarcity of XRP token, staking is no longer available. The beauty of it is I made staking 6,100 tokens for free. So at least I got those free 6,000 tokens. And if you look at the price, 6,000 tokens times 15 cents, it's got $1,100 basically worth of free tokens if you want to do the math. But yeah, that's a big part of what I had this morning. I had a lot of stuff I wanted to go through, and we still have to go through the volume of XRP. And yeah, there's been a lot going on here. Let's see if I missed anything in the comments. Hi, Tom. I invested in XRPH after watching you. I also staked. I'm a single dad, and your advice has changed my son's Christmas so much. See, unbelievable, Michael. And I have 3 kids myself here, 2 step kids, and my own son who's 5, who's special needs. And like reading that comment, that's what it's all about. The fact you staked XRP Healthcare means you're up. You bought it with me when we were staking, which means you're probably in the 2 cent range with either 2 or 3 cent for your buy. I don't know if you would add the 1.7 start, but somewhere between 2 and 3, I would imagine. And you can absolutely do what you need to do to have a good Christmas now. You are up right now. I'm up almost 800% right now at 16 cents. It's unbelievable on XRP Healthcare. And I proclaimed that this was going to be my largest bag out of them all. Did I not? To everybody, this was one that I absolutely was jumping for joy. And I said, I got to stop saying I said. We discussed, because this was a mutual thing with us. It's not just me, it's us. We discussed that this was the time to first buy when it was back here. And I brought it to the light of the community, not when it was way up here, when everybody else, all the influencers, if you look back at their history, they had XRP Healthcare and they talked about it here. Nobody talked about this. They only talked about the small move up. Nobody informed everybody to keep on. I've looked for videos for the past year and you can't find them. Only when it was in the big surge. So I decided when it finally broke this uptrend, it looked like a descending wedge that was forming out into the long scape. Once it started this uptrend, I advised the audience. Once this uptrend started, this was my buy. This was my signal right here when it validated this uptrend. Because that's when you start to have like I call it the new path. As long as it stays within that, it's squeezing its way out of the consolidation. So we bought here at 1.7. I proclaimed to buy all the way up to 2.9. Stopped when it broke this. Came up, came down, and I even said here, I'm staking it. This doesn't mean anything to me because it's the short target. Now you guys will have a chance when it backtests because they always backtest. We kept saying it needs the backtest and that's where you should shoot your shot. 2.3, and then down here when it hit 1.9, I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly basically where I bought at, 1.79. You can buy where I started buying, and obviously in the USA, I didn't get the option to buy more. So I was just happy with the 60,000. I would have loaded up here. I would have probably bought another 10,000 more here. Maybe more. Maybe more. I probably would have bought maybe 50. I would have got up to 100,000 tokens. But as it is, USA, it was difficult. I said, here's your last shot. We said it's your last shot. How about that? And then I targeted 12.3 cents with the upper targets much higher, but the short-term breakout target was 12.3. If we didn't break that in a month, as sure as I'm standing here, if that didn't break out from 1.7 cents at the end of October, if you come here in November 11th, at 1.95 cents on November 11th, if you would have just bought, you're up 639% in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And yes, we hit 17.9 and consolidated, and we have to. I said at the beginning of the show, it has to consolidate. So if you take profits, by all means, I'm not going to yell at you. If you want to have a beautiful Christmas like Michael, who bought this months ago, and now is staring at 600+%, I'm not going to crush you. That's life-changing. If you tell me you can invest money and make 600% in 6 months, 7 months, I mean, if that's sitting in the bank, it's still the same percentage and it's been devalued. So you got to find your opportunity. You got to take your shot. No, not all shots work. I've been hammered more than I've been hit. And then I end up coming out on the other side seeing roses because I understand the setups. And if I break down on one setup, I'm going to buy it when it hits the support and I'm going to ride it back out, gain my losses, and then some. But you got to have that testicular fortitude. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. It's Sunday morning. I'm going to go hang out with Julie. I know this was a rather interesting live. Ripple's on XRPL is next bonk. They're merging with drop and it's cheap right now. Food for thought. Do your own research. X magnetic. Wait a minute. So what is it, Ronnie? Hold on. What is it? Bonk. XRPL is next bonk. So Ripple. I mean, Ryan, some could say it's wife changing if you don't have the proper partner, but Julie's all I ever wanted. So from 0 to 1 billion, it won't matter. Let's see. Wait a minute. What is Ronnie? What was the name? I'm trying to make sure I'm very clear. Ripple's RPLs. So Ripple's RPLs. I got to remember that. I'm going to type this on my phone. On the ledger, I'm going to do some deep research here because that's how I found XRP healthcare within the ledger. I did some deep research and it found me to the healthcare side of it. And once I discovered it, I'm like, oh my God. I couldn't buy it at 13 cents when I seen it, obviously. But I said when that pattern plays back and I see a possible consolidation, and it took 8 months for me to be able to talk about it. But, you know, it is what it is. We'll look at AMP real quick before I leave too as well. And if you are here, make sure you hit that subscribe button to the channel. We're over 28,500 subscribers. And I would love to see you part of this team. Ripple's price, RPLS live price chart. So is that live right now? I think it is. RPLS. So I would have to go on the ledger on the DEX to try to buy that. That's interesting. RPLS checked their Twitter page saying they are merging with Drop, which is to me is Pepe. Oh, and you know what? That makes sense because Ripple has talked about how Pepe would have exposure to the ledger. So if they are merging with Pepe, RPLS, if they're merging with Pepe, that's the hint that Ripple has been giving us. They've been saying that Pepe is going to end up on the ledger. So would that be the way that it finds its way to the ledger? X magnetic. No, RLUSD is going to affect XRP in a very good way. Remember, the RLUSD stablecoin is pegged to the US 1-to-1 to the US dollar. It has to stay at $1. If it goes too far below, it's a bad thing. If it goes too high above, it's a very bad thing. It's got to stay 1-to-1, just like USDC and USDT, 1-to-1 value. So it's got to stay at $1. It's going to help XRP because of gas fees. If there's billions of dollars being used in RLUSD as a stablecoin, XRP is the gas token on the ledger. So just by it being for gas fees, it should go immensely higher in time. So no, it actually is the opposite. A lot of people believe that it's going to negatively affect XRP because more will buy the stablecoin. If you want a stable price of $1, go for it. That can be like your bank account. But if you want to make some gains or losses, you can't be in a stablecoin. The name in itself tells you stablecoin. Now, is XRP on an ascending wedge? That's what I started the live with. Is XRP on an ascending wedge? Because ascending wedges are bearish. Like, is this a rising wedge? And would it have to come back down here and retest below? If it breaks out of here, it's a very good sign. We've never back tested $1.48, which is still scaring me. If this is a rising wedge, I could see a scenario where we drop 35% here. In Bitcoin's history, in bull markets, we traditionally have a 30 to 35% setback before we go to the next level at some point. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be here for Bitcoin because it's got that inverse head and shoulders. It could be one of those cases where this is the play today and XRP consolidates. Also, Ethereum As I said, I have exposure to both, not because I want it, because the charts are forcing it. Ethereum's just about broken out of this broadening wedge. It's got that 3,800 and some change target here over the top that it's going to have to break at 3,840. But this could very well be one of those days where Ethereum and Bitcoin might move, but they might not. So let's just watch it and be prepared for any kind of retracement. William, thank you so much for the $1.49 donation, IQ. It's so awesome seeing you in here. And not only being in Tom's Army for over 6 months, but also sending that YouTube super chat with a beautiful rose with that. Thank you so much. Yep, same great falling. It is forming that slight head and shoulders. But until volume ceases to exist, I can roll with a $1.77 or a $1.46 retracement or dollar. That never bothers me either. I wish that it would. Hopefully that showed, because YouTube always. I'm pinning that message. YouTube always hides those links when you guys try to send those. So I pinned that, Kryptonian, so somebody can either screenshot it or so that they can pin that. Yeah, came down 10 last night and we were back up by 5 a.m. Got bought up quick, but probably got relocked, but high demand. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Army went to the moon. I killed myself for not grabbing low. Yeah, Ronnie. You're not the only one. You're not the only one. But I mean, I can understand your positioning. For 3 years, XRP just kind of sat there. But yeah, I've been pointing out. Oh, there was a couple $1.49s by IQ. He sent 1, 2, 3, $3.49s. A piece of cake, some popcorn, and a rose. Thank you so much for those, IQ. I really appreciate that, William. And then I think I got everything else here. So, beautiful live. I want to make sure I hit AMP real quick. But it's been a beautiful live. You guys know with AMP, I have exposure. We had TRX up here. We talked about Casper yesterday potentially being a nice buy. It had that nice... It looked like a little bull flag maybe. Although it is coming down from... It's so hard with Casper. It's so beaten up. And the fact the founders did what they did... You know, it makes it hard for me to recommend it or to rebuy back in it when I'm making serious profits on others that I have more faith in. Actually, that was Casper or AMP that I looked at. But as far as Casper, it's tough for me with Casper. Yeah, it looks like it's creating a formation that it's trying to break out of. But it's just all that negative connotation. It's going to be hard to find smart money into here. It's going to be hard to get that smart money. It's going to have to break certain levels before you get the overall consensus of the retail back in this token. I'm just saying. And the fact that it was beaten up so much and it's still under 1 cent, I mean. But this is AMP. Just take a long look because I still need to look. I mean, this is AMP. Somebody asked, but we still need to continue to look at Casper for a second. But this is AMP. I did gain a little more exposure. I had 440,000 tokens. I sold 340,000 when we had this big run up. I had my initial 100,000 still being held. And then I added on. So now I have about 200,000 and some change again. If it breaks out of this, have no hard feelings if you want to get rid of it, because then you'll probably get a better deal at 60065, which is about a 14% drop. So pay attention to that with AMP. With Casper, it's in this ascending formation. It needs to get over this resistance at 3 cents or 2 cents to start pushing up the boundary at 2.2, and then possibly trying to break out of this long-term consolidation. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done with Casper. But that's it, everybody. I got to go. I really do. It's 11:13. I've overstayed my welcome here. It's been over an hour, but I'm going to go back to family. Have a blessed day, and I thank each and every one of you for the support. And sometime today I should be back on, whether it's a short. I highly doubt there'll be a live on Sunday night, but I say that every Sunday, and then I typically come on live. So it just seems to happen. Jacoby, thank you so much for not only being in Tom's Army for 1 month, but also being in Tom's Army. Well, for 1 month, but sending a $1.99 super chat. When does the merch drop? I don't know. That's a part that I haven't really tested that side of the market because I've been trying to focus more on just advancing and charting and not so much on the monetary value of making money off of products and stuff. I could do a bunch of them, but I don't know until I find the right time. Everybody always asks me on Jasmy too. I've gotten so many questions on Jasmy. And it's not that I don't like Jasmy. It's not. It's just years ago when I was looking at it, and I wrote this out for everybody. The technical move, we had this consolidation. It came up to our technical target. It's not that we haven't talked about it. It's just I don't talk about it as often. But we did come out of the short-term consolidation for Jasmy. And now if this can break up, I mean, we're going to have two targets over the top. The first one's 3-3 and then up to 4-4. Jasmy's had one hell of a road down. And whether it's from a fundamental standpoint or just trying to understand the token, got to have some real deep knowledge here. But right now it's set up for a little bit more of a surge if it can get past 2.9. Then you got some levels. I mean, we had a nice descending consolidation for a little bit of time that I think is pretty easy to identify that it broke out of. And that's why this consolidation was important that it managed to break out of as well. And you just had a descending structure that we were able to break out of. So there are higher ambitions here for Jasmy if it does break out. And right now we're on the start of that breakout. For all intents and purposes, we're on the start of this breakout. Your next target, real target here, if you get over the 2.9, a solid target is 3.8 cents. So you're looking at a bit of a surge here still. XRP Hitman, thank you so much for the $2 donation on the way out. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. 1 XRP equals 33 RPLS. Wow. Try to shoot me up, but I'm bartending right now and I'm on my phone. Phone not set up like my computer. Don't want my any credit. No. Yeah. Nope, I understand that, my friend. Ronnie, not necessary. Enjoy your bartending and save some of those tips. A tip from me to you, right? But, you know, next time if you want to, that's completely up to you. Before I leave, here's a way to buy XRP in your favorite crypto. I said I'll do this one time at the end, and I'll do this one time at the end, and not during the lives or updates anymore until the very end. So, just go to my homepage, XRP Future Millionaire. Click on where it says BITUNIX, and you get a slew of different options. BITUNIX is where I prefer to do my leverage that I talked about today with the Ethereum and Bitcoin. As you know, there's a $90 risk if Bitcoin comes under 90,000 and Ethereum comes under 3,500. I stick to 5X. The copy trading's in there, but I can't talk about it. So on your own accord, if you want to, we're up like $470 right now. And I also have AMP on BITUNIX. And they've got a slew of others, XRP, that you can buy other ones. HOTCOIN, and there's no KYC or VPN on HOTCOIN or BITUNIX because you're not sending or receiving from a bank account for BITUNIX. You're just trading on the exchange and sending it back to your home base after if you want. HOTCOIN, I have my HBAR, IOTA, and VELO. And you can spot and leverage buy XRP, no VPN or KYC. Leverage is a bit more expensive than BITUNIX, but it's all there. Crypto.com, I have the Visa Crypto Debit Card, where you can put your crypto directly on there and have it like a prepaid card instead of sending it to a bank. I have my DGB on there, which is hard to find on exchanges. My ZIL, my VTHOR, my IOTX, my XLM is all on there. And then if you want to send a donation, you can always do Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. You can do the Super Chat route or join Tom's Army. So that is completely up to you. And before I leave, I forgot about VELO. I promised I would look at that. VELO is at about 1.9 cents. We started buying at 0.009. And then we bought again right here at 1.4 cents to top it off to 100,000 tokens and some change. And then it had a nice breakout of the falling channel. And now it's in this ascending consolidation. We do have upward momentum if we can break out of this inverse pattern, which it looks like we're in. The target's 3.3 cents. Now, there can be some consolidation as we finish this little cup here. And we could back test a little bit. But the next target when we get hot here is 3.3 cents. If we lose this formation, the uptrend's back at 0.009, and I'll continue to load up if it goes back down there. That's all I got, everybody. Have a blessed day, and I